Hi, my name is Kevin Kingston, and I'm one of the product managers in the Sophos Endpoint Security Group. Today we're going to look at our new threat indicators functionality that we've released to customers who have purchased our endpoint and/or server EDR offerings after having the feature available in beta over the past few months. With the EDR data feed enabled, EDR-enabled devices are continually sending data to Sophos Central on files seen with a not known good reputation. The new Threat Indicators capability uses machine learning technology to present a prioritized list of the most suspicious files seen in the EDR data feed to help highlight where further investigation may be warranted. So now that I'm logged into Sophos Central, if I click on the Threat Analysis Center in the left-hand navigation pane, this will bring up the Threat Indicators dashboard. And in the bottom right-hand corner, I can see the Top Threat Indicators dashlet, which gives a quick summary of the highest priority items that I may want to investigate further. From here, I can click on a specific item, or bring up the full Threat Indicators report by clicking on the Threat Indicators on the left-hand side of the page, or by clicking on the link above the dashlet, which I'll do now. On this page, I can see the full Threat Indicators report, which shows me the full list of the most suspicious files from the highest to lowest priority. The top of the page has a summary banner listing the overall number of high, medium, and low suspicious items seen in the environment. There are filters which also allow filtering based on date, suspicion level, and whether the file has been executed or not. All of the high, medium, and low suspicion files would have been close to triggering an ML detection, and the high suspicion files would have been extremely close to causing a detection and should be focused on first. When looking at the items in the list, I can see the date the file was first seen in my environment, the name of the file and the first endpoint where it was seen, the SHA-256 hash of the file, the suspicion level, the number of devices it's been seen on in my environment, and whether the file has been executed on at least one device where seen. To get some more detail, I can click on the View Details under Actions. From the Event Summary tab, I can see the summary of what we know about the file, similar to what was shown on the main page of the report. If I click on the Devices Affected column, I can see a list of the devices where the file was found and the initial path where it was seen on those devices, and whether it appears to have been executed on those devices. Clicking on the device name will bring me to the device page for that device in Sophos Central. In the event I want to check other activity or the current status of that device, or to get an idea on users who have been using that device. Going back to the report, if looking to get more detail as to whether a file is malicious or not, I have the option to submit the file to Sophos Labs to request the latest Sophos intelligence on that file. I'm going to select one of the files from my list. Let's go with temp123245. I'll view the details. If Sophos has already seen the file, or after the file has been sent and analyzed, you will then be able to see the report summary, machine learning, file properties, and file breakdown tabs, which are currently grayed out. So as this file hasn't been seen by Sophos before, I'm going to request the latest intelligence. And after a few minutes I get the notification to let me know the results are now available. So we can see those tabs are now active. The Report Summary tab gives an overall summary of the analysis done. Note one of the useful details on this page is the AV detection line, which will detail how many vendors on VirusTotal are detecting that file, and will link to the VirusTotal report for that file if one exists. In this case, VirusTotal aren't aware of this file. On the Machine Learning tab, although there are some suspicious attributes, looking at the overall suspicion level, which looks at all attributes, we are only declaring the attributes of this file to be 3% suspicious. Looking at code similarity, this file is in the middle of the road at 56% suspicion, but the top files this file compares to are known good files. The file path analysis marks this path as 100% suspicious, mainly because this was downloaded into a downloads folder, which would be pretty common for malware. The Files Property tab provides the file info for that binary, and the File Breakdown tab has some other useful info, particularly the details on whether the file is signed or not. Another action I have available is the ability to generate a threat case for a file. When taking this action, a request is sent from Sophos Central to the endpoint to capture data on the last activity for that file, to show the history of the file, and give detail on activity seen from the file and other files it's been interacting with. So for my lister.exe file, I'm going to click the link to generate a threat case. Now, after a few minutes, we get the notification that my threat case has been created. And if we go into threat cases, and I look at my admin generated threat cases, at the top of the list, we can see this new threat case. Looking at the direct path of this case, I can see lister.exe was written by another file with an uncertain reputation called standardsetup.exe. If I show the full threat case graph, I can then get a view of all the files written by this standardsetup.exe process, and the other files it has accessed, and registry keys it's been accessing. If I come to the decision that a file or a set of files are clean and that I don't need to worry about them, I can use the dismiss action so that the file will no longer be displayed in the threat indicators report unless other devices start to see that file or unless Sophos changes its opinion on that file. So I'm going to select one of the files in the list here, and I'll choose the dismiss action. I'll put in a reason. And I'll click confirm. If I come to the decision that a file is bad, then an action I may want to take would be the clean and block action, so that the file will be cleaned and removed on any other devices that have or ever see that file. So I'm going to choose my standard setup.exe. I'm going to click the button to clean and block. I'm going to put in a justification. Confirm, and that item's now been added to my blocked items list. If I click on the Actions Taken tab, from this page I can get details on the actions that administrators have taken on files observed in the threat indicators list. I can see the time the action was taken, the file and hash for the file that was acted on, the action that was taken, the administrator who took the action, and if I view the details, I see all the tabs where I can get more details on that file, and also the comment that I added when I added the file to the block list. So one other thing that it's worth being aware of is that when I click on the SHA-256 hash for a file that we see in the threat indicators list, this will kick off a cross-estate search for that hash. This can be really useful if looking to do a deep dive into where exactly that file has been in your infrastructure, and for drilling into the details on that file for a specific device. So that's everything I wanted to cover in today's video. I hope you find this new functionality useful, and thanks for your time.